valued his wife.
Yeah, you just said that you didn't care about her.
That's right. But if I stop and say, look, I'm only going to share this with you because I value your wife, then I'm giving him the message that your partnership is important here.
Absolutely.
Are y'all following me on that? So it's just very important. Okay. Don't take her juice away from her.
Just put it on the chair.
I just want to get that.
No, that's important. That's a great question because you need to know how I want to try to get you to understand how I handle all situations. We're not going to be able to do that, but you get my point, okay? So that's that situation. Now, let's set the stage here, okay? I'm sorry, your first name again? Anita. I thought you were who I thought you were. Anita here is my new recruit, okay? Anita's scared to death. She's probably bitten every nail she has. She's, oh my God, I hope I've done the right thing. All that kind of stuff, okay? And so Anita and I were sitting out in the car coming in, all right? And I told Anita, I said, Anita, when we go in here, all I want you to do is introduce me, okay? Don't introduce me as a national sales director. Don't introduce me as a regional vice president. Introduce me as a friend. Okay, it's very important. All right, when I get started, there's going to be a couple of times. This goes on in the car. Okay, this goes on in the car. All right, and I'm training and prepping her for how she needs to react. Okay, there's going to be some times throughout the presentation that Anita, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, "Ain't that right?" And you're going to go, "Okay." Now, if I say that's not true, you go. Okay? That's all I need you to do. Can you do that for me? Yeah. Let's practice. Do that. Let me see. Come on. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. That's great. Now, there you go. You got that. Okay, now, one other thing, Anita, and I got to tell you this, okay? Y'all don't think I do this. Yeah. Truly I do. This is not for show, okay? Anita, I got one other thing I need to ask you, okay? You're going to get excited about what I share with you, and you're going to get excited because this family is going to be having their lives changed right before your eyes, and you're going to want to talk. That would be a mistake. Okay? Don't talk. Okay. All right? You know just enough right now to get in trouble. All right? Now, if you talk, my feet stink terribly, so I'm going to stuff my socks in your mouth. Okay? Okay. Now, she'll never forget that imagery, will she? Nope. See? So that's happened before we got to the house. Maybe as we drive to the car, or maybe here in the office, but that happens. Okay? Now, Anita, one other thing. When we get there, I'm going to arrange how I want everybody to sit. Okay? Okay. That's very, very important. Okay? Very important. Okay? Now, just so you know, I would never sit in this arrangement. This is confrontational.
Oh, well, set us up.
Okay? I should be here.
Set us up right.
But I don't want to do that because my back will be to you. Okay? I should be here. Just like we are right now. This is the way you want it. I want to talk through the wife to the husband. Because the wife makes all the decisions. Don't believe anything else anybody else says. Okay? I want my new recruit off to my left. I'm left-handed. So see how this works for me? So when I walk into the home, I actually arrange everybody. If you don't mind, can you sit to my right? Because I'm left-handed, and if you don't, it won't work. Okay? Anita, why don't you sit right over here? You sit. That's exactly what I would do. Everybody understand that? Okay. So for the purposes of this illustration and to be able to see the camera and everything, I'm going to sit across from them. Okay? I don't like that because it's confrontational. Okay? Anybody got any questions on that?
My camera, I don't think is really working. So we're just going to record off of the phone.
No problem. However you want to do it. Just tell me if you're ready to go, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick it up from the standpoint of, we've been at the door. She's introduced me. We're going to the kitchen table, and we'll start from there, okay? Is that fair enough? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, also, just a little note. I've already asked Anita the 9,000 questions about our new prospects. Where they work, what they do, what's their socioeconomic status, where do they go to church, how many kids do they have. All the questions I can possibly think of that will help me get to know them. You need to do this for you to make the first 10 minutes of this presentation sing. I've got to be comfortable about my conversation with them. If I'm just walking in and I don't know nothing about them, I'm guarded, they're guarded. You understand what I'm saying? Remember, before all this started earlier, I told Amber that first 10 minutes, That's my life. That is my life. Okay? All right, before we get started, let me ask y'all, which do you want me to use? What do you want me to do? This one here? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe.
Short side or the long side?
Well,
Do the short side.
that's what we want you guys to be using. So
Whatever you want me to use. I've never seen this. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to me. Okay?
Okay,
there you go.
we are taught to use that. That's what we're using.
That's fine.
But I'm not opposed to, we know how to use that book, but am I wrong, Ivan? It's saying, I'm not opposed to seeing what else you're doing because you're
It doesn't matter because I do whatever I want. Whatever. You know what? Honest to God, when I reach in my briefcase, whatever I happen to pull out is what I use. It doesn't make no difference. All right? I did an op meeting the other night and I'd never even seen the damn thing.
What? Personally, I think right now you guys need to be just concentrating.
You need some redundancy.
Okay,
You got to do the same
In order for
thing.
you to be good, you need some redundancy.
okay.
I know that every presentation made by Primerica carries certain components to it. I know it talks about the company. I know it talks about the crusade. I know it talks about the concepts. I know it talks about the compensation. Every presentation has those 4 components. Those are the components that I cater to. I don't need to know the words. I know. So, and you will too when you've done it long enough. Right now, you need to know the redundancy. Now, on that note, thank you for bringing that up. You do need to learn how this information works without reading it. Okay? That's part of your homework, is to get good to know that. If you don't know it that well, read it. Read it. But you want to be able to... Okay, you see what I'm saying? Okay? All right, any other questions?
And that just comes with doing a lot.
Yeah, it just comes with doing a lot. That's right. That's exactly right. I love Matt Soderman from AXA because he can write upside down. You should see him. He's pretty good at it. That's how he has to, to explain everything. That's how he has to do it. All right, any other questions before we get started? We've got the stage set. I've already gone over with my new recruit what we're going to do, right? I've already gotten all the information about my prospects that I can possibly get, right? Carrie and Jason, do I have that right? It is important to get their name right. Just want you to know. There have been times I have not, okay? So you need to know that, all right? I'm terrible with names, okay? So, she's told me Carrie and Jason, and in my mind I've said 1,000 times, Carrie and Jason, Carrie and Jason, Carrie and Jason, okay? Just so you know. All right. Anything else before we get started? Okay? Outstanding. Well, Carrie and Jason, it's so exciting to be here. I appreciate so much the opportunity to sit down and talk to you. I don't know what Anita has told you. I'm not sure how much money she paid you for us to get together, but I want to thank you for taking the time to do it. I'm going to share some information with you today. Just relax. We're going to have a good, fun evening tonight. The information I share with you, I want you to know 36 years ago changed my life. I used to be a high school wrestling coach, so, wrestlers and wrestling coaches, they're pretty low-key, kind of, loose kind of people. So we're going to have fun tonight. I want you to take your hand off your wallet and your checkbook. The reason we're here tonight is to educate and disturb you, okay? I'm not going to ask you to buy anything, not going to try to say anything. What I want to do is share some financial concepts with you, okay? And I'm going to share some things that radically changed my life 36 years ago, all right? So if you have any questions along the way, do not hesitate to stop and ask me. I'll be glad to answer them if I can. I'm probably going to create more questions than I actually answer. My aim tonight is to disturb you so much that you don't sleep good tonight. And so if you don't sleep good, you can cuss me out later, okay? Is that fair enough? All right? And so before we get started, let me just ask you a question. How do you know Anita? How did you guys meet? Now, I know the answer to all this, right? How did you guys meet?
Church.
Church, okay. Church. Well, out of curiosity, what church do you go to? XYZ. Okay.
Yeah.
XYZ. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. How do you like it? How do you like it at XYZ? Is it pretty good over there?
Yeah, it's better than the last one.
Was it really? I actually, to be honest with you, I've been looking for a church home, and I love Bible history. I mean, I'm really into studying Bible history and stuff like that. So, I don't know if that's got a good program over there like that, but that's the type of stuff that interests me. So tell me what you do for a living.
I'm a railroader.
A railroader?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Long line of railroaders, or are you the first one?
I'm the first one.
Wow. How do you like that?
It pays the bills.
Oh, pays the bills. Well, tell me, in your experiences, how long you been there? How long?
5 years.
In your 5 years of being there, tell me the thing you like most about it.
If I want a day off, I can take it.
See, it's flexible.
To a certain
To
degree.
a degree. In your 5 years of experience going the other way, what is the thing you hate most about it?
Working at 2 a.m.
Oh, the graveyard night shift kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do that often?
Yeah, about 4 days every other week.
Wow. Carrie, what do you like most about the railroad business?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. And going the other way also, what do you like least about it? Sounds like everything.
He's gone all the time.
He's gone all the time. And I can understand that. I can see where that. Well, what are your areas of interest? Just do y'all have hobbies? And what do you...
I like play basketball.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Get me in. I do too. I love to play basketball. I mean, I'm a white man, can't jump, but I love to play basketball. That's pretty cool. Where do you play at?
The rec center every Tuesday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a pretty much an average pickup game, or?
Yeah, show up. It's with the railroad. You just show up,
Wow.
and whoever's there, we create a team.
Nobody there going to hurt me, is it?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Outstanding. Well, that sounds like fun. I might just take you up on that. How
All
long
right.
have y'all been in this community?
30 years.
30 years? Okay, outstanding. So y'all know everybody. Well, let me ask you a question. I'm going to share with you some things tonight that are going to, like I said, probably going to blow you away. You know, I mean, these are things that are not taught in the colleges. They're not taught in the high schools. Yet everybody needs to know them because it changes their lives dramatically, okay? If you've been here that long and we're able to help you, then there's a good opportunity that we probably help people you know. Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk to you about two things today. And I want you to wear two different hats, okay? The first hat I want you to wear is I want you to look at this and say, how does it apply to my life? How does this help me? That's what we call that the WHAM theory. What about me, okay? And so I want you to look at this. If it can benefit you, guess what? It's going to benefit everybody you know. Second thing I want to ask yourself, and you may not quite have as much interest in this, but if I can show you how to make an extra $1,000 a month of part-time income, would you be interested? Oh, you would? I never even considered that would be something you'd be interested in. I'm going to show you tonight two things, and you got to wear both hats as we go through it, and I'll probably point that out as we go through it. Is that a deal? Let's get started. How many of you, have you heard of Primerica before? Are you familiar with Primerica at all? Never heard of it?
Other than Anita telling us about it.
Okay, well, we don't nationally advertise, so it doesn't surprise me that you would not have heard of us, okay? Yet we're one of the largest, most trustworthy financial companies in America. In fact, Forbes magazine said we're in the top 50 trustworthy companies in America. That's a pretty strong statement, isn't it? Mm-hmm. We're a publicly traded company. Our stock symbol is PRI. We went public in 2008. Do you remember what happened in 2008 financially? Do you remember?
There was the mortgage crash.
The crisis.
Yeah,
the mortgage crisis, stock market crash, right? It's probably not a good time to go public, is it? If your market's crashing and you're going public, that's not a good thing. We had one of the most successful IPO offerings in stock market history, in the worst market in our history. That tells you how strong we are, how valuable we are. But we got our start, we got our start in 1977, okay? In 1977, a group of 85 people in 3 states, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama, and 7 offices, got together with some financial principles, some financial concepts that nobody was teaching, nobody was sharing. And they said, you know what? Everybody in America needs to know this. And so they started teaching it to people, and it just exploded. Today we have in excess of 115,000 representatives, and yet you've never heard of us. Isn't that amazing? I mean, if you've got 115,000 representatives and you've been in business since 1977, you must be doing something right. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree? Okay. And so, as I said earlier, we're in the New York Stock Exchange. We currently have 4 million clients under our insurance banner and 2 million clients under our investment banner. And we were named one of the 50 most trustworthy financial companies in America. Pretty strong statement for our company, isn't it? All of this without any national TV or radio advertising. Pretty good, huh? Just look at some of the companies we represent. Some of these companies you've heard of, haven't you? Do you know some of these companies on this list are more than 100 years old? I mean, if you were crooked, let's just say that for a moment. If you were crooked, if you weren't what you say you were, those companies would have never done business with you, would they? So we can put to bed the problem of whether or not we're credible, right? From the standpoint of credibility, we've got all the credibility in the world because look at the people that do business with us. You've heard of Equifax, haven't you? Who is Equifax?
Credit score.
Yeah, exactly. Credit score, right? How about some of these insurance companies? You've heard of them, haven't you? What's the most recognizable one you know? MetLife?
Yeah, MetLife.
Yeah, MetLife, right? As some investment firms. We've heard of Franklin Templeton. It's a 100-plus-year-old company founded by none other than Benjamin Franklin, right? So there's a lot of different companies here. And I show you this because I want you to understand that we don't represent any one company. We are the largest national marketing company in the financial service industry, by far. Now, the reason that's important to know is that means you're not getting a proprietary product. You're getting whichever one's best for you. That's a good feeling, isn't it? To know that you're getting, because you could be doing business with XYZ company, it may not be the best company, right? And so we're able to put the best program together for you. Does that make sense? Are you following me? Okay. Today's financial challenges are very well documented. I don't need to beat this horse up, okay? U.S. households today with debt have an average credit card balance of about $15,706. And most families I know don't have one card but several cards. Would you agree with that? What's the average interest rate on a credit card today?
It's 22%.
22%. Isn't that astounding? Would you also agree with me that if we don't get rid of some of the debt facing America today, that we'll never truly be able to save the money we should? And wouldn't you also agree with me that the retirement statistics facing America today are staggeringly poor? Staggeringly poor, okay? According to a survey, 1 in 4 consumers said today they had no life insurance. 1 in 4. How can that be? How is it that a family that has children and has no insurance in this day and age? How many of you have seen a GoFundMe account to bury somebody? Right? Mm-hmm. How about a car wash where they raise money for a funeral? I mean, it's ridiculous. Let me tell you why I think it is. This is just my opinion, okay? My opinion is, Carrie, that most people in America today don't trust the insurance industry. Do you agree with that? I mean, we know we need it, we just don't know how to buy it, and we don't trust the guy selling it to us. Is that true? Mm-hmm. What if I could show you a way to buy it that the industry's not telling you about? That'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to share that information with you, okay? Nearly half of Americans have less than $500 in savings today. That's barely even a put and take account. Do you have a put and take account? Everybody has a put and take. You know what I'm talking about? You put it in on Monday, take it out on Friday. Right? Everybody has a put and take account, right? Yeah. That's barely a put and take account, right? And so we have real financial problems in America. Jason, I know all your life you've been told you got to make money. And you got to make more money. And you got to take a better job so you can make more money. And you got to take a better wage because it's a higher hourly salary or whatever. But anywhere in that education did they tell you what to do with the money you made?
Spend it.
Spend it.
On stuff you like.
How's that plan working for you so far?
Paycheck to paycheck, pretty much.
Right? So, Carrie, I mean, am I right? I mean, same thing with you, right? Always get a better job, always make more money, never taught what to do with what you make, right? See, we don't think the key to is how much money you make. We think the key to it is how much money you keep. See, if making money was the key to the game, all the lottery winners would still be financially independent. But as we know, most of them are broke. Right? Why? Because nobody taught them how money worked. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to share with you the rules to the money game. Would you like those secrets?
Oh, yeah.
Or would you like them to keep it secret to me? Let me share it with you? Okay, great. All right. More than half of all workers today have less than $25,000 in savings. Give me a piece of paper, please. And a pen. I thought I had a pen. Oh, I got a pen on me right here. Okay. All right. I'll use this. That's good. Okay. All right. So, and I do it just like that, by the way. Okay. All right. So I want to do a little math with you. I'm not a math wizard. I'm a wrestling coach. They don't go together. Okay. But I've learned this, and it's staggering to me. If you make $30,000 a year, okay. And let's just assume you work from 25 to 65. That's 40 years of your working life, right? So you work 40 years of your working life. You make an average of $30,000 a year. In the early years, you made less money, but in the later years, you made more money. But let's just average it out, okay? That's going to be $30,000 times 40 years. That's $1.2 million that's going to go through your checking account. And yet all we can put our hands on is $25,000? That's a problem, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's that way? Why do you think that happens?
Spend too much.
Yeah, where are we taught to do anything else but, right? Who teaches us to do anything else but, right? And so I want to help you control more of that money. I want to help you keep more of that money. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right? 4% of workers today feel not too comfortable or not at all comfortable that they will have enough money to live comfortably through retirement. Is that you? Are y'all facing that?
Yeah, I haven't discussed that too much.
Well, no, that brings me to another point. Do you know I find statistically that more than 98% of the people in America today spend more time planning their vacation than they do their retirement? Does that sound like y'all? Now, I want you to understand, I don't want you to feel bad about this, because that was me too. I was a wrestling coach. You don't get any more broke than a wrestling coach, okay? But what I learned changed my life forever. And that's the reason I'm here to share this with you. I shared it with Anita, and it radically changed Anita's life. She got very excited about it, and she wanted you to know about it. And that's how we ended up here tonight, okay? And so I'm very excited to be able to share this with you, but it's important that we be honest with each other about where we are financially. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. All right. 76% of all Americans today report that they live paycheck to paycheck. Does that sound familiar? Too familiar, right? Mm-hmm. How many of you have heard the saying that there's always more month left at the paycheck?
Yep.
Yeah, we shouldn't know that, should we? But we do, right? And by the way, you're not alone. Most people in the city are facing the same problem, okay? Household incomes today is just shy of $54,000. It's below what it was 15 years ago. This generation today would be the first generation to make less than their forefathers. That's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? And the problem is you don't control your own destiny. If the railroad decides to lay you off, what choice do you have about it?
Complain.
And that gets you how far?
Not very far.
Great, okay. All right. How real and serious are these problems? Okay. Are you facing these? See, the good thing is, just like the chart says, we have solutions. Would you be interested in those solutions? Great. Mm-hmm. Here statistically is what people are doing. 36% of the money they make, 36% of the people are still working when they reach age 65. 36 out of 100 are still working. Okay? Is that y'all's plan?
No, not yet.
Okay. 54% will be dependent. That's churches, Social Security, charities. Is that your plan? Okay. No, that's not a problem, because that's only 90%. Okay. 5% are going to be deceased. I hope that's not your plan. Is that not your plan? So we're up to 95 out of 100. We're running out of room here, okay? 4% will be okay, meaning okay, they got $1 million of assets. Is that your plan?
It'd be better than nothing.
Okay. 1% will be wealthy. Tell me this. How is it that 1 out of 100 reaching age 65 will be wealthy? 99 will either die or fail miserably. How in the wealthiest country in the world, how does that happen?
They weren't taught any different.
And what were you taught?
Probably that other 95%.
All right. So the problem is the number one financial education company in America is Primerica. The number 2 financial game plan. The number 3 financial coach. See, you've got to have all 3 of these things to be successful. Who's knocking on your door right now to teach you this?
You.
Just us. See, we're the only game in town for Middle America. And you and I are Middle America. Merrill Lynch isn't calling me. Are they calling you?
Nope.
No? Why? Do you know why?
They don't know Anita, apparently.
So Anita's the key here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, she's the gatekeeper. That's pretty good, okay? All right, so consequently, if Merrill Lynch is not going to call you, how are you going to learn this information? You don't.
Reading about it, yeah.
You don't. That's the problem. You don't. And you end up a statistic just like everybody else did right here. Is that where you want to be?
Nope.
If I could provide for you a program that would change all that, would you be willing to do it? Because I know I can, but I'm not sure if you're willing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. One of the keys to our success is our ability to provide solutions through a program called a financial needs analysis. Okay? Now, has anybody offered you a financial needs analysis lately?
No.
Now, who do you bank with locally?
First Interstate.
First Interstate? And First Interstate didn't offer you one? Wow. I thought they had your best interest at heart. That's interesting. Did Merrill Lynch call you?
No.
Now, I know Merrill Lynch will offer you one. They'll just charge you $600 to do it. Now, I was a wrestling coach. You can't charge a wrestling coach $600 to tell him he's broke. He already knows that. Does that sound like you?
Yeah, slightly.
Slightly? Okay. All right. What if we could offer a financial needs analysis complimentary? No charge. Would you want to know where you stand financially?
Yeah.
If I could show you how to get to that point in retirement where you're comfortable, financially secure, would you be interested in that? If I could put that program to you and not put that program together for you and not charge you for that benefit, would you be willing to do business with me?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Out of 10 people you know, how many of them would be interested in something like that? 10? Mm-hmm. Would you have any objection at all, provided you're satisfied? Would you have any objection at all recommending my services to those people?
No, I can.
Great. That's good to hear. Okay. Our mission's pretty straightforward. We don't really mince words with it. Our goal is to help families earn income, become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. Has anybody else offered you that benefit?
No.
First Interstate didn't offer you that?
No.
I thought they had your best interest at heart. Wow, that's interesting. Our financial needs analysis is just basically a financial GPS. It kind of shows you how to get from point A to point B. It does all the number crunching for you. It takes into account all your assets, all your liabilities, everything. I mean, it's a great report, okay? But the problem is middle-class America never gets one done because they can't afford it. We don't charge for it. It's complimentary. It's comprehensive. And it's confidential. Does that make sense? Let me give you just a summation of how this might work for you, okay? On the left-hand side is John, the client that I met, and John was John and Mary were 30 years old when I met them, and this is their situation when I met them. They had debt totaling $165,000 with 24 years remaining on it. And that was their mortgage. They had a $13,000 credit cards, 3 of them, that they pay the minimum payment on until they're age 88. Does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Okay. He had $150,000 of life insurance. She had $150,000 of life insurance. There was no coverage on the kids. And let me just stop right there. Let me ask you a question, Carrie. You depend upon Jason's income? You do? So if something happens to Jason, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I do want to characterize it like it really is. Okay? So if Jason were to die one day, how far would $150,000 carry you with the kids?
Not far, it doesn't even pay off the mortgage.
So in other words, the insurance agent that sold this product didn't even do the job for the consumer that he was set out to do. Is that correct? And that, unfortunately, is what I run across quite a bit, actually. Okay? And so John had 150, Mary had 150, with no coverage on the kids. He was paying $285 a month. Now, Carrie, why don't you suppose that he had more than 150?
Probably couldn't afford it.
Couldn't afford it. That's exactly right. Fixed income, limited budget, like everybody else in the community, right? And so all he could get was $285 out of his pocket every month. Right? Now, for that, at age 65, he would have a combined total of $124,000 of cash that's inside this policy. In this policy, what they did is they took an insurance policy and a savings account, and they put the savings account inside that policy. Problem with that is, Carrie, if Jason dies and you own this type of policy, the cash that's in that policy is kept by the company. How does that make you feel?
Mad.
So if we just split this in half, 62 is yours, 62 is his, 150, 150. If he dies, you're going to get $150,000. They're going to keep $62,000 of cash. How does that make you feel?
That's wrong.
It's okay. You can say it. It pissed me off.
Right?
Now, Jason, on the other side of the fence, you got kids to raise, things to take care of. She provides an invaluable service to you. If something happens to her, you're going to get $150,000, but $62,000 of cash is going to be kept by the company. How does that make you feel?
Not very good.
Let me ask you a question. Do either of you own life insurance right now?
Should just say
You say whatever you want to say. I'm going to answer it no matter what.
no.
No? Oh, so you're part of that 1 in 4 we talked about earlier. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to be rude or anything like that, but you have children at home. I'm assuming you have a mortgage, right? I'm assuming you have credit card bills. Is that all correct? But you have no life insurance. Is there a problem there? Do you have your cars insured?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, certainly your life is more important than your car, isn't it? Do you have your home insured?
Yes.
Well, certainly your life is more important than your home, isn't it? Is there any reason why you didn't buy life insurance? Can you help me understand that?
Well, I didn't think I was going to pass away until at least after I
Oh,
retired.
okay, so you had that immortal mentality. That's great, man. You want to share that with me? Because I'd like to have that mentality too. But the truth is, it could happen, couldn't it? Do you know anybody around your age that's passed away?
Yeah,
Do you think he planned on it?
sure didn't.
Do you think the family suffered from it? What if we could provide you the kind of coverage that you really deserve at a price that you can afford? Would you be interested in that? We'll get into that in just a minute, but I want to kind of find out where you are as we go along, if that's okay. Okay? All right. So you can understand where this concept might not be so good for them, right? In this concept right here, if you're going to lose your cash when you die and you can't access it without having to borrow it, if you want to take this money out, you have to borrow it to get it out. Do you believe in borrowing your own money? I mean, it's only a 6% interest rate, but it's still your money, right? I mean, if you think borrowing your own money is intelligent, you give me your money, I'll loan it to you for 3. Sounds pretty silly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the insurance industry don't tell you that when they sell it to you, do they? Right? So once you learn how this stuff works, how likely are you to continue to own it? Not long, right? Because it makes no sense. Okay? Now, we've also found out that most consumers don't have any wills. And let me rephrase that. That's not true. I learned that every consumer has a will. It's just some of them, the state provides it for them. How does that make you feel? Do you want the state to decide where your kids go? Do you want the state to decide where your money goes? If you don't have a will, the state will decide where that happens. So I would say a will is a pretty valuable thing, wouldn't you? Okay? They also had car insurance and homeowners insurance they paid $243 a month for. He had a $20,000 IRA. You know what an IRA is, right? A retirement account that was earning 1.5% interest that he put $100 a month in. At age 65, he'd have $89,000 for retirement. Between the $124,000 and the $89,000, how long do you think he can stay in retirement?
About a year.
Yeah, about a year, right? All right. What we did is we came in, just like I'm doing right now with you, and I'm going to offer you the same service, and we abstracted some information from their current finances, and we put together a financial